Now at 10, Missouri shoppers celebrate back-to-school savings with a statewide sales tax holiday. Plus, the Joplin community teams up with a local business for some back-to-school assistance for parents. And parents and teachers celebrate the graduating students at Compass Academy Network.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This weekend, shoppers in Missouri can save money on back-to-school supplies. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. The Missouri tax holiday will exempt sales tax from purchases like clothing, folders, pencils, and computers. Gabrielle Allen is the owner of G&S Graphics in Joplin. He looks forward to seeing the influx of shoppers this weekend, especially parents on a budget.
It's a big thing, especially for single moms, single dads that are taking their kids back to school, that they are allowing this to happen this weekend because it is important and it does save a lot of money.
The back-to-school sales tax holiday runs through Saturday. Parents can head over to the Quapaw Farmers Market for some free school supplies. Staff members from the Child Care Development Fund will have a booth set up to give away the school supply vouchers and free backpacks. The CCDF will also be on hand to provide information about the program. In order to receive vouchers, children ages 3 to 12 years old must be enrolled in a pre-K, Head Start, or elementary school. CCDF says those vouchers can go a long way in covering supply costs.
But if they chose to split it up and do half for a backpack and half for school supplies, they'd probably still need to go out and get some more school supplies. But their school supply list has grown, and they've added stuff to it.
The Quapaw Farmers Market is open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Interested parents should head over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. Service Master Restore of Southwest Missouri also hosted a back-to-school supply drive. The public came out for today's event to donate school supplies to help local students ready for the upcoming school year. Service Master Restore says the event provides a great way to give to the community.
We plan on inviting the school districts throughout Southwest Missouri to come and get whatever they need, distribute them how they feel fit throughout their schools, and get it to the kids that need them.
The event also featured free food, games, door prizes, and a lot more. While most area kids are getting ready to head back to school, some area kids celebrated graduation today. Students, teachers, and parents celebrated graduation from the Compass Academy Network Summer Enrichment Program. The graduation marks the program's 6th year, providing middle school students from the 4-state area with a month-long fun and engaging program that helps prepare them for success in the upcoming school year and beyond. This year, over 120 students across 3 locations participated in the program.
I think that no matter what age you are, you can have an impact. And so I hope that our students recognize that, they might be a pebble, but they have ripple effects. And for our community, the same thing. The more opportunities we give students, the more they're willing to do. They can really rise to the occasion. And so I hope this is kind of inspiring for our families to see that our young people might be little, but their voice can be mighty.
Students who successfully complete the program receive a $45 Walmart gift certificate for their school supplies. We'll take a first look at weather with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Well, temperatures are looking pretty good this evening. About 81 in Joplin, 80 in Neosho, 84 in Independence, 79 in Yates Center, so a little bit cooler. And we've got a nice northerly breeze, 5-10 miles per hour. Nothing too crazy. We also are going to stay mostly dry through the night and through the weekend. We don't have a lot of rain chances until end of the week next week. And although this weekend temperatures mid-90s but low humidity, unfortunately it doesn't last long. Temperatures start to warm back up by early next week. And I'll have more details in just a bit.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Election season is here, and local organizations and even individuals are hoping to get more people to the polls. They are especially focused on young voters. A study by the Harvard Institute of Politics found more than half of young Americans indicate they will be voting in the 2024 general election. One Neodesha teen is working to get young people registered to vote, even though he himself cannot yet participate. He says he believes it is important for everyone to have a voice throughout their ballot.
Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, every single American comes from a background. They have their own perspective that influences their way of life. And their way of life is something that I believe is something that is really important, that should be reflected at the ballot box every single year.
You can learn more about how to register to vote in your county, as well as find other election resources on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. Vice President Kamala Harris clinched the Democratic Party nomination for president in an online roll call with delegates. A majority of Democratic delegates voted to select Harris as the party's nominee. Former President Donald Trump, meanwhile, is heading to the critical state of Georgia as the race for the White House heats up. Willie James Inman has the latest.
Vice President Kamala Harris has secured enough delegate votes to become the Democratic Party's presidential nominee.
Just one day after we open voting, that the vice president has crossed the majority threshold and will officially be our nominee next week.
The online voting process ends Monday, but Harris is poised to become the first woman of color at the top of a major party's ticket.
This is truly a people-powered campaign. And I would not be on this call right now and with you all were it not for your support and your trust.
CBS News has learned that Harris will hold meetings with the top prospects for her VP pick this weekend. Reporters asked President Biden what qualities she should look for in a running mate.
I'll let her work that out.
The contenders include Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Shapiro went on the attack against former President Donald Trump's running mate.
J.D. Vance is a total phony baloney. He doesn't know what he believes.
In a television interview, Trump went after Harris on the southern border issue.
I think she's a horrible candidate because she wants open borders. She was a border czar. She tries to, deny that now, which is not working.
On Saturday, the former president holds a rally in Atlanta at the same venue where Harris made a campaign stop earlier this week. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Next week, Harris is slated to travel to 7 battleground states as she works to build on her strong July when she raised $310 million. 2 area Little League teams hope to make a big national impact. Brock Baldridge has their stories and more coming up later in sports. But up first, a Kansas firefighter gives his life in the line of duty. His story next. A Kansas fire department is grieving after losing one of its own in the line of duty. The department says the firefighter was responding to a call when he got injured. He later died at a local hospital. Nick Nelson has the details.
One of Wichita's bravest was injured in the line of duty, and he later succumbed to his injuries.
The Wichita Fire Department is mourning the loss of one of its own. Fire Chief Tammy Snow says while responding to a house fire on the 9800 block of South Laura in Hayesville, a Wichita firefighter was critically injured and sent to the hospital. She later confirmed his death.
This is a loss that weighs heavily on all of us and very deeply. All of the dedicated individuals who serve our fire department do so knowing that the immense risk that they're undertaking, and they do it with noble, selfless regard.
Firefighters called in several crews from around the area to help fight the fire. Sedgwick County Fire Marshal Brad Crisp says anytime there's a possible death at a fire, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is called in.
We play code reds and code blues as if it could be a fatality. In the event that something worse happens, we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Firefighter Union leader Ted Bush says this is a tragedy for every Wichita firefighter. Yet the job of protecting people goes on.
At this moment right now, we have
people out there doing the same job. Even through this tragedy, they're making every alarm. They're helping every person that calls them. We will never be the same after today. We won't. But the job remains the same.
The Wichita Fire Department has released the name of the firefighter. Ty Voth, a 5-year veteran and a 2015 graduate of Newton High School, is the nephew of Manhattan Fire Captain Kyle Voth. Ty started his career with the MFD in 2017 before going to Wichita in 2019. He was only 27 years old. The city of Galena says goodbye to its chief of police today. Chief Billy Charles hangs up his badge after a 26-year career in law enforcement, including his time as police chief for Galena of the past 8 years. The city celebrated Charles's career today at the Galena Senior and Event Center. Noble Dobkins will take over as the next chief of police. A little later, an Oklahoma couple recounts a story of survival while stranded on a scuba trip.
And temperatures start to warm back up by the weekend. We'll talk about it right after the break. Well, it's been a nice day so far. Temperatures are still in the mid to lower 90s, but humidity's dropped quite a bit. We'll go ahead and take a look outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Nice sunset earlier. It's really great looking out there. Clear skies and temperatures dropping down to the mid to lower 80s now. So we're looking pretty good, getting down to lower 60s for our low tonight, mid 60s for our low. So we're right about average, 91 for our high, 69 for our low this morning. So again, right at average. And with lower humidity values, it's looking pretty good for the next couple of days. We don't have any rain on the forecast, and it's going to be mostly clear for the next couple of days. We've got some clouds rolling in, but we're not seeing any rainfall until midweek to the end of the week next week, which is unfortunate because we start to see those dry conditions creeping back into our area. Not quite drought, but all this yellow. That's where we're seeing a little bit more dry soil, dry ground, and we need the rain. Unfortunately, we don't see any until next week, but we do have lower humidity values, so it's going to feel a little bit better, at least for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, with our high in the low 90s and humidity less than 40%, actual temperature, or the heat index, is going to be right about what the actual temperature is. Same thing goes for Sunday. It's actually going to be even drier on Sunday, 27% in Webb City, 25 in Chautauqua, 21 in Iola, 17% humidity in Fort Scott. So pretty low on Sunday, and our heat index values are going to be right at what we're seeing our actual temperature. So 94 in Joplin, 95 in Baxter Springs, 96 in Sedan. Fortunately, still 97 in Nevada, so we're still getting pretty warm in those southwestern counties near Oklahoma as well. Then we move into Sunday, warming up a little bit more with temperatures in the upper 90s. So for our actual temperature, about 93 in Joplin on Saturday, 96 on Sunday. And we also have those afternoon clouds on Saturday, which keep us a little bit cooler than what we're going to see on Sunday. Hot, but not humid. And we also don't see any rain chances. Not this weekend, not until next week. Temperatures rise pretty quickly. We have a high pressure dome over the western U.S., so we don't see a lot of change in our forecast for the next couple of days. We're just sitting there stagnant. Nothing's really happening. Like I said, a few clouds tomorrow afternoon, but overall, nothing changes until this high pressure starts to shift back over our area and moves out. Winds shift out of the south. We start to get some moisture from the Gulf, and then those temperatures rise pretty quickly. So we're seeing 93 on Saturday, 96 on Sunday, 99 on Monday, and 100 on Tuesday. Not to mention Monday and Tuesday, hottest days in the forecast. We also have higher humidity. So likely we'll see a couple heat advisories popping up Monday, Tuesday, maybe even as early as Sunday night for the early half of the week. But then we got rain chances by Thursday. Temperatures drop pretty quickly after that. Down to mid 80s, 85 Friday, 86 on Saturday.
So some lower temperatures in the future. Nice.
Yeah, you know what? It's
something
like,
to look forward to.
Yeah, light at the end of the tunnel. That's
Yeah.
what I'm focusing on.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Lindsay. An Oklahoma couple who survived a near-death experience during a scuba trip gone wrong shares their story. Tom Ferguson has that story.
He was just doing these crisscross patterns over the top of us, and I had my light on the whole time, and I was waving it above us like, we're here, we're here, we're here.
Nathan and Kim Maker, experienced scuba divers, walked us through the frightening almost 2 days lost at sea. Amid the chaos of different diving groups going up and down the dive line, they became separated from the main group on the morning of July 24th. The hours dragged on, and they saw rescue planes about 20 times in the distance, but too far away to be found. Dehydration and exhaustion started setting in.
Kim, I'm pretty sure I'm having a hallucination.
Yeah, which was scary for me. I knew that his body was deteriorating, his mind. We were exhausted.
Even amid facing down the worst possible outcome, they still marveled at a pod of dolphins swimming underneath.
Totally geeking out because I was like, that is the coolest thing. I mean, really, we're like in a pretty serious situation, but still like, yes!
We saw dolphins!
Yeah.
As they went into night 2 at sea, chances of their rescue were looking dim. They say there was only an hour left before the rescue operation would have turned into a recovery operation when their heroes found them.
They were like, we're going to pick you up and get you in the boat. And I'm like,
and we had no strength. I mean,
you see this, right? Like, I'm like, I don't know if that's going to happen. They're like, we got you. And they reached out
They were not
and
kidding.
literally plucked us from death. I just start crying and I'm trying to hug the boat captain. I'm behind him and I'm putting my arms all over him. He's like, let me drive, sir. Let me drive, sir.
The Makers continue thanking the crew of Coast Guard cutter Edgar Culbertson, Commanding Officer Bernardi, and stations out of Corpus Christi, Houston, Port O'Connor, and the Heartland.
I had no interest in surviving without you. So, yeah, it got pretty dark, but turns out it just took a couple more hours and we were saved.
The light was there.
We made it, babe.
Yeah.
Coming up in sports, a former Missouri Southern Lion makes his Olympic debut.
The 4 states are represented at a national scale once again as the Little League Baseball Midwest Regional Tournament kicks off in Whitestown, Indiana. Now, Webb City represents Team Missouri and Riverton is representing Team Kansas, and both teams are hopeful to punch their ticket into the Little League World Series. So Webb City is the first team to play in the tournament as they face Team Nebraska out of South Sioux City, and Webb City gets a dominating victory as they beat Nebraska 14-3. Max Woodmansee hit a solo home run in the 3rd inning of this one. Webb City and Team Missouri will advance the winners bracket as they face Team Iowa tomorrow afternoon. That game starts at noon Central on ESPN+. So right after that one, it's the 12U All-Stars out of Riverton, Kansas playing in their first game of the tournament. Team Iowa got out to a big lead in this one, and Riverton couldn't quite complete the comeback. However, Levi Kinsley hit a double and scored a run in this game. But Riverton isn't done yet. The tournament is in a double elimination format, so Team Kansas will get another chance as they face Team Nebraska in the elimination bracket. That game is scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time on Sunday morning. Well, the track and field portion of the Paris Olympic Games have arrived, and former Missouri Southern Lion Rajendra Campbell competes in the qualification round of the men's shot put. Well, here are the final results of the men's shot put in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Missouri Southern's Rajendra Campbell is competing for Team Jamaica, and he has officially qualified for the final round of the men's shot put. Only the top 12 qualify, and Campbell finishes in the top 10 with a score of 21.05. The final round of the men's shot put continues tomorrow at 12:35 p.m. Central Time. Campbell will look to compete for an Olympic medal in the event, so we wish him the best of luck. Well, the St. Louis Cardinals open up the month of August on the road, taking on their Wrigleyville rivals. The Cardinals look to keep pace in the National League Central standings. Cards and Cubs square off on Friday afternoon. Chicago leads 1-0 in the 2nd inning. Christian Bethencourt goes to the opposite field on an inside pitch, and that ball lands in the basket, counts for a 3-run homer. Cubs lead 4-0. Later in the inning, Michael Bush sends this ball out to Souvenir City, and well, there's no doubt about that one. That one's gone for a solo homer, and Chicago goes in front 5-0. Cubs led 5-3 in the 8th inning. Bases loaded opportunity for Brandon Crawford, and on the mound for Chicago's Hector Neris gets the swing and the miss, and a big strikeout there for the Cubs. So we go to the bottom of the 8th now. Runner on second base, Kyle Leahy tries to pick off the runner at second and throws it away into center field, and that allows Seiya Suzuki to come around to score, and the Cubs win the game 6-3. Chicago takes the first 2 games of the series. Royals also on the road tonight, facing the Detroit Tigers after winning last night's series opener 7-1. And tonight, more of the same. The offense got hot again as Kansas City wins 9-2. Salvador Perez 3 for 5 with a homer and a pair of RBIs in this one. Both teams back at tomorrow at noon. And the Joplin Outlaws are playing their final homestand of the season. The Outlaws get a much-needed win tonight. The local kid from Carl Junction, Lucas Van Landuit, gets the win as he goes 6 2/3 innings and strikes out 8. The Outlaws get the victory 12-2 in 7 innings of work. Well, that's your look for sports. We're back with more news after this.
It was a little nicer today than it has been.
You know what? If you were in the shade, it was fantastic
Yeah.
today. We had pretty low humidity. That continues for the weekend. Although temperatures do start to warm back up, mid to lower 90s Saturday and Sunday. Fortunately, you can see Monday 99, Tuesday 100, and humidity creeps back in. So early half of the week is going to be pretty muggy and miserable. And the second half of the week, you can see mid 80s and some rain chances. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's our time for tonight. Make sure to join us on the weekend. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.
Charlie 22 for another